Consensus on raising the statutory minimum wage to $34.50 an hour. A sharp increase in the number of phone scams last month. And Hurricane Matthew threatens a direct hit on the U.S. after causing more than 300 deaths in Haiti.
Good evening. According to sources, members of the Minimum Wage Commission have reached a consensus on raising the statutory minimum wage to $34.50 an hour. Caleb Lung with details.
The Chief Executive and Council has yet to approve the proposed hike. If approved, the statutory minimum wage will go up from the current $32.50 to $34.50 per hour and take effect on May 1st next year. The Minimum Wage Commission reviews the figures at least once every 2 years, and this would be the smallest adjustment since the statutory minimum wage was introduced in 2011. The review meeting started last week. Sources indicated the employees' representatives had demanded a raise to at least $36 per hour. However, employers' representatives wanted the minimum wage to remain at $32.50. The Eating Establishment Employees General Union is not happy with the proposed raise. It says the key expenditure for employers is rent, not salaries. Meanwhile, catering sector lawmaker Tommy Chung says the proposed increase is too high for his industry. He says wages account for more than 30% of the total expenses in the catering industry. A raise of $2 in the minimum wage can be a great burden to the employers. He has also criticized the Minimum Wage Commission for leaning towards the labor sector, adding that the CE should dismiss all the commission members. Caleb Leung, TVB News.
Local football officials say lower league players are more susceptible to taking part in rigging matches because of their low wages. But the Hong Kong Football Association stressed it was using a monitoring system to spot whether players were throwing a game. Anne-Marie Sim reports.
Local Premier League football team Pegasus were back on the pitch this morning for a friendly, in the wake of an alleged match-fixing scandal involving some of their players. Noticeably absent from the lineup were its captain, Kwok Kin Pong, players Lee Kar-ho and Chan Pak-hang, and former Hong Kong Footballer of the Year Lee Wai Lim, who are believed to have been questioned by the anti-graft body. Pegasus manager Peter Mann said team morale had been affected by the match-fixing probe, while the absence of players also impacted training. But he added that all the players and staff continued to give 100% of their effort to the team. Hong Kong Football Association Vice Chairman Pui Kwan Kei said lower league players earn around $10,000 a month, making them more susceptible to taking part in match fixing. But he stressed a monitoring system was in place to spot whether players were throwing a game. Pui added that the association had made it clear to players that match fixing was unacceptable, but that it was difficult to totally stop the practice. On Tuesday, the ICAC arrested 6 people, including players and officials from local Premier League football team Pegasus, on suspicion of alleged match-fixing. The suspects are accused of rigging Reserve Division League matches and pocketing more than $90,000 in bribes. Anne-Marie Sim, TVB News.
Unstable weather is expected to continue to affect Hong Kong as tropical cyclone Airy lingers over the northern part of the South China Sea and is expected to intensify gradually. But the chances of issuing a strong wind signal number 3 tonight and tomorrow morning are not high.
As Airy is slow-moving, it will keep a distance from Hong Kong. Under the combined effects of Airy and the northeast monsoon, there will be showers in the next few days in Hong Kong. Winds will also be stronger with rough seas. For the weather for tonight and tomorrow, it will be mainly cloudy with a few squally showers.
A staggering death toll of 339 people is what Hurricane Matthew caused when it hit Haiti. Matthew is now bearing down on the U.S. state of Florida, where experts are warning residents there and in 3 other states to brace for 60 hours of destruction. Sonia Otero reports.
The eye of this Category 4 monster hurricane began pummeling Florida early this morning. Instead of traveling inland for the next 60 hours, Hurricane Matthew is expected to wreak catastrophic damage along the coastlines of 4 states: Florida, Georgia, and both North and South Carolina. A state of emergency is already in effect, and when it comes to safety, authorities are not mincing words.
If you need to evacuate and you haven't, evacuate. This storm will kill you. Time is running out.
175,000 people have evacuated. That's not enough. We need to have more people evacuating.
We have, by executive order, issued mandatory evacuation for the counties, the 6 counties that are our coastal counties.
Over 2 million Americans are heeding the warnings to flee. To exacerbate the already deadly storm potential, brewing south of Bermuda is Hurricane Nicole. By Monday, just when Matthew will be exiting the Carolinas, Hurricane Nicole will make a move northwest. There is a potential the 2 storms will collide and form a new storm to return for round 2. This is called the Fujiwara effect, when 2 cyclonic vortexes orbit each other. The brunt of Matthew is evident in Haiti, where hundreds of bodies began appearing as floodwaters from the storm receded. Survivors insist the eye of the storm hit them twice.
Between 6 and 7:30, it was the worst. Then we thought it was over, and everybody came out. Then they spent about an hour. Then it started over again, and it was the worst part.
The American Red Cross is aiding survivors whose entire homes were blown away.
Some of the needs that families may have are kitchen kits, so that they can cook meals, any kind of hygiene kits, and then most worried about cholera.
This is by far Haiti's biggest disaster in years. Sonia Otero, TVB News.
The United Nations Security Council unanimously nominated former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Guterres to be the next Secretary General. The Council recommended the 193-member General Assembly appoint him for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2017. The General Assembly is expected to meet next week. The 67-year-old Guterres would replace Ban Ki-moon, who is stepping down at the end of this year. Guterres accepted the nomination with, quote, gratitude and humility, and spoke of the challenges he is facing.
Humility when facing the dramatic problems of today's world, and humility that is needed to serve, and especially to serve those that are most vulnerable, the victims of conflict, of terrorism, the victims of the violation of rights, the victims of poverty and the injustices of this world.
A member of the UK Independence Party remains in hospital after suffering a seizure during a European Parliament meeting in France. Eyewitnesses said Stephen Wolfe collapsed and lost consciousness after clashing with another lawmaker Thursday morning. According to media reports, he was punched during a fistfight. Party leader Nigel Farage condemned the altercation and said an investigation has been launched. Wolfe is expected to make a full recovery, should I say. The 49-year-old is a candidate to succeed Farage. He's angered some within the group and has threatened to join the ruling Conservatives.
Still to come tonight in our broadcast, Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos wins this year's Nobel Peace Prize. Duterte dares the U.S. and EU to withdraw aid to the Philippines amid criticism of his war on drugs. And a preview of this weekend's Hong Kong E-Prix.
Hillary Clinton may have had the upper hand in the first round of the debate, but Donald Trump says he's going to get tougher in the second round by bringing up Bill Clinton. Don't miss the second round of the US presidential debate. Live Monday morning at 9, with the same night rerun at 9:35, right here on Pearl.
The 50th anniversary of the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the second GT World Cup, the Gia Race, and the proving ground of new legends, the FIA Formula 3 World Cup. This is Motorsport, the Sun City Group 63rd Macau Grand Prix.
Your one and only lifestyle luxury living at Cotai South Macau. Sky Oasis by you.
Welcome back. Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos won the 2016 Nobel Peace Prize for his role in an historic peace deal with rebels. The Norwegian Nobel Committee honored Santos for his resolute efforts to bring the country's more than 50-year-long civil war to an end. The war with FARC rebels cost the lives of at least 220,000 people and displaced close to 6 million. The choice of Santos by the Nobel Committee is a bit of a surprise since Colombians voted no to the agreement. Critics felt the deal was too lenient on the rebel leaders who wouldn't serve any jail time. The award pointedly excluded the FARC leader known as Timochenko. Santos has vowed to revive the peace plan.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte says the United States and European Union should withdraw their assistance to his country if they're unhappy with his crackdown on drugs. This after he told U.S. President Barack Obama to go to hell when Washington refused to sell some weaponry to his country. Duterte said China and Russia are willing suppliers. Alan Buckner reports.
The latest salvo comes as Duterte celebrates the 100th day of his presidency today. It's been a controversial 100 days as Duterte has ruffled international feathers, insulting Obama, the United Nations, and even the Pope. Most of it stems from criticism he's received over his war on drugs that's seen more than 3,600 suspects, dealers, and users killed, and some 700,000 surrender. Last month, he seemingly compared himself to Hitler and drug users to Jews.
Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there's a 3 million drug addicts.
Duterte later apologized to the Jewish community.
Yeah, he's a self-admittedly rude person. He's a head of state now. Head of states are called dignitaries for a reason, because they carry the dignity of the nation. So the usage of expletives is undermining his credibility, the Philippines' image in the eyes of the international community.
Still, Duterte enjoys broad support at home. An independent opinion poll released yesterday shows 3/4 of Filipinos are satisfied with his presidency. He's done a lot of good, says this university professor, especially with drugs. He's a president with principle. This man says he could do without the cursing, but his governance is good. Meanwhile, Duterte continues his almost daily tirade against the U.S., saying he wants to liberate his country from its shackling dependency on Washington.
Eventually, I might in my time, I will break up with America. I would rather go to Russia and to China.
The Philippine defense minister says he's told the U.S. that joint patrols and naval exercises in the South China Sea are on hold. Delphin Lorenzana said the country can manage without American aid. Alan Buknia, TVB News.
Pro-establishment lawmakers in Thailand say they plan to make sure junta leader Prayut Chan-o-cha stays on as prime minister. Prayut took office after the military seized power in August 2014, toppling the government of Yingluck Shinawatra. In August, Thais voted overwhelmingly to accept the junta-backed constitution, paving the way for an election. The lawmakers plan to field a proxy political party backed by the military in the election planned for next year. Meanwhile, the junta came under scrutiny after critics filed a petition asking the Auditor General to investigate allegations of extravagant spending during a trip to Hawaii for a defense meeting. It's the latest in a series of allegations against the military government that promised to root out corruption. Police say September has been a bad month for phone scam cases. The targets, they say, are getting younger and include even highly educated professionals. Winna Wong reports.
Phone scams are back on the rise again. According to police, while phone scam cases remained at double digits throughout February to July this year, it exceeded 100 cases in August. In September, the number of cases even jumped to 173. Authorities say there's been a shift in victims. In the past, those who were phone scammed tended to be the elderly with a low level of education. But police said today nearly half of the victims this time were under 30 years old. The scammers have also been targeting working professionals, and police say those who have fallen into the trap even include accountants, lawyers, and doctors. Police say it remains a common trick that the scammers would pose as mainland government officials.
The swindlers will likely accuse the victims of, you may have committed some serious offense in the mainland, for example, money laundering, or convey some forged credit cards, etc.
Police say the scamming methods are even more sophisticated than before, and the young and educated have also become targets. For example, the scammers will guide their victims to a fake government website where false arrest warrants with their photos will be uploaded. Officers also noted that many of these victims are mainland exchange students or newcomers from across the border. Police are now targeting related groups such as university student societies and professionals groups to inform their members about these scams. Winna Wong, TVB News.
The police have named their new Deputy Commissioner of Operations. From October 17th, Lau Yip-ching will take over from Wong Chi-hung, who is retiring. The 55-year-old Lau is currently Director of Operations. He joined the force in 1984 as an inspector and was mainly responsible for criminal investigation work at district and headquarters levels. He's worked in various departments, including training, personnel, and police public relations, and served a 3-year stint with the Airport Authority.
Leisure and Cultural Services Department officials have started meeting representatives of 4 lifeguard unions to discuss about manpower arrangements. This after the Ombudsman criticized the department for being lax in monitoring its lifeguards' absence from work and being ineffective in managing its employees. The department discussed with some of the unions today on how to arrange for staff to stand by in order to prevent the closure of swimming pools and beaches when lifeguards call in sick. More meetings will be held tomorrow with the other unions.
Chief Secretary Carrie Lam says she's willing to spend more time communicating with the young crop of new legislators. She says she hopes this will improve the relationship between the administration and the legislature.
As we are now seeing at least a couple of newly elected legislative members who are really young, the age of my 2 sons. I've told myself that although we are talking about political participation when it comes to the Legislative Council, the same advice that I have just tendered, that we should invest more time, attention, and patience in these newly elected young legislative members, is probably worth trying in order to cultivate a positive relationship to better serve the community.
A world-class medical university has opened its first overseas base here in Hong Kong. The new center at Science Park will develop stem cell research. Anne-Marie Sim has the details.
Chief Executive Lun Chun-ying today attended the opening of the Karolinska Institute's first overseas base at the Science Park, the Ming Wai Lau Center for Reparative Medicine. The Swedish university, known as one of the best medical schools in the world, will carry out stem cell research to develop the engineering of replacement body parts, such as hearts or livers. The centre's director believes the research carried out at the centre has the possibility of allowing scientists to replace diseased or failing human organs with artificial ones. The institute is hoping to hire up to 50 researchers in the coming year. The chief executive hailed today's opening as a milestone in the development of science and medicine in Hong Kong, adding that he was confident the centre would promote regenerative medicine as well as the development of innovation and technology in the city. He noted that establishing the centre in Hong Kong showed the city's commitment to stem cell research. The Karolinska Institute received a $400 million donation from property tycoon Lau Ming-wai. Anne-Marie Sim, TVB News.
So, Chris, some exciting sports news.
Yeah, let's hope for the weather. Excitement building for Sunday's Hong Kong E-Prix. Now, the race is the curtain raiser for the third season of Formula E. Jameson Wong with a preview.
In the past, we've tackled the rudiments of rugby, brought on the biometrics of boxing, and studied the science of soccer. But we've never attempted anything this brainy before. To wrap our heads around electric car racing, not only does one need to be a gearhead, but an egghead too. Wisely, we chose to stick to the basics. Call it the Form 1 version of Formula E.
Actually, all of us carry a bit of the technology with us every day. Those batteries which power our mobile phones also help to make those cars go really, really fast.
Of course, the batteries in these race cars are much bigger, comprised of 200 kilograms of lithium-ion cells. Others have done the math, and that's equivalent to the capacity of 4,000 mobile phones or 300 laptops. Now, the maximum energy teams are allowed to use is 28 kilowatt hours. There's also something called fan boost, with some drivers getting an extra shot of power during the race. And Hong Kong's thinkers and makers are fully charged. The belief is the innovation and technology from motorsport will filter down to road cars in the years to come. Formula E's education partners recently unveiled the first electric vehicle concept car entirely built and designed in Hong Kong.
Yes, we're very excited to have Formula E in town for sure. It's going to be the first edition in Hong Kong, and so we hope that it would make people more interested in electric vehicle and what it can do for them.
What they will do for us this weekend is entertain and possibly give us a glimpse, albeit a quick one, of our own motoring future. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Tomorrow, Hong Kong boxer Rex Tso returns to the ring. He takes on Japan's Ryuto Maekawa in a 10-round super flyweight bout at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. Both fighters are undefeated, that is, with Tso sporting a record of 19-0. Maekawa comes in with 11 wins and a draw. This will be the Wonder Kid's biggest showcase to date, with 5,000 fans cheering him on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome all the fighters to the stage for the group photo.
And that's the news.
Good night.
There are times when we just can't help ourselves. Hong Kong Tennis Open 2016. Highlights next Monday to Thursday night after the news roundup. and live from Friday to Sunday at these times on Pearl.
DPM sensor accurately detects your body pressure distribution, giving you a fully customized point-to-point mattress. Revolutionizing sleep.
DPM, more than sleep.
In your very body, you carry power to give life or to give death. That's amazing. We want people to live in the value and dignity that comes in living in God's love.
Be inspired this Saturday morning at 10. Hour of Power on Pearl.
Good evening. The weather was mainly cloudy with a few showers. There were sunny intervals during the day. As tonight's situation chart shows, Tropical Storm Eri was estimated to be about 280 kilometers southeast of Hong Kong. Up to 5 p.m., temperatures ranged from 25.5 to 29.3 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 68 and 97%. Light to moderate north to northeasterly winds, occasionally fresh offshore and on high ground. 17.3 millimeters of rainfall has been recorded since midnight. The current temperature is now 29 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 72%. The standby signal number 1 is now in force. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be mainly cloudy with a few squally showers. Temperatures will range between 25 and 29 degrees tomorrow. Expect occasional showers in the next few days.